So on today's episode of Building the Brokerage, we are moving along the brokerage. We're a year in at Redefine Real Estate. I don't know if you followed the previous videos, but if you go back, Building the Brokerage, you can see step by step of me going through hell to get into the brokerage and get into our space, our build out, what that looks like. And now we're growing. And in today's episode, we're going to interview Martin Samarco. Is an awesome real estate agent. He's at Redefine. He's one of our newest people. And so we're going to interview him so you can see where we're at in building the brokerage. Okay, so today we're on Building the Brokerage. I'm really excited about this episode, guys. We're interviewing one of our newest agents here at Redefine. He has a ton of experience. Martin Samarco, goes by Marco sometimes, a little bit of back and forth there. He's got multiple nicknames, I've heard. And there's a reason for multiple nicknames because you have a really, really cool story. You have had a long adventure, spoiler alert, professional athlete. So we'll get into that a little bit. I know he's not big on sharing that, but I'm gonna pull it out of him a little bit here. So we're gonna talk a little bit about your life experience, your real estate experience, how there's some overlap there, what it looks like to try to provide some value to people that are listening and that are seeing this content, just about your journey and what that looks like and how you've had success in real estate and that type of stuff. So I like to call it the comic book story, right? Because every hero in a hero's journey, it's like a comic book, right? It goes way, way back, and usually it starts with them not being a hero and not being the superhero real estate agent that you are. But what's your comic book story? What's your origin? Tell me about just go way back to kick us off.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I would probably say go back to like very humble beginnings. I was a big dreamer, always had a vision to beat my current environment, if that makes sense. And I would think just hard work and dedication. Like I was probably like, I would look at myself like as an underdog. And sometimes I had to live on the far end of the positive spectrum to like literally, I ain't gonna say finesse my beliefs or vision, but I just had to like, I dream a lot. And that was like as a kid, and I feel like I'm finally getting back to that place again because, you know, your life has peaks and valleys, but just very super humble beginnings.
Okay, cool. So humble beginnings, and I know a little bit about this story, so I'm just curious on how you share this. But basketball was big for you as a kid, and then carried over into the adult life. Can you give me a little bit there?
Yeah. My father started me and my siblings playing basketball when we were younger. We would go to a lot of parks and just play and practice. But it wasn't, the shifting happened to me into like fifth grade going to middle school. We had moved cross town and met some guys that were really big into basketball. I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't say a love for it. I was like any other kid. I played all sports. I like to swim. I like to fish. Like I was just a normal kid. But it wasn't until I met a couple friends that were like obsessed with basketball, and they kind of forced me, to be honest. And then I started picking up, I started loving it, I'll say, going into middle school, going into high school, like 8th grade year, going to 9th grade year. And that's when I started loving it. And then I started seeing a little bit of success. And then I seen like how people view me started to switch. But I was still like, I wasn't good. And I just kept working and working and working. And then that's when I think I started like really dreaming and really believing like I might have a shot. But it was, if I were looking back at like my anywhere from like 13 to 15, you'd be like, no way this kid is going to play Division I basketball or,
Sure.
you know, potentially be a professional. Like you wouldn't have seen that. I was like probably one of the least like super late bloomer out of my friends, but I had a good support system around me. And they basically forced me. I mean, like there would be times I would play video games or be taking a nap. They'll pull me out the house. And we would, the biggest thing was we had a park at the end of the street and we would just play basketball 24/7. Like from 5 a.m. till the sun went down. And sometimes even with the sun, we would, people would turn their car lights on and we would just be playing and playing and playing. So that was really how I started.
Yeah, you mentioned some friends that were like obsessed with it a little bit more than you at the time, and they kind of pulled you into, hey, we got to play. We're playing every day. Like we're into that. Has that carried over, surrounding yourself with certain people? What does that mean to you?
I think it's everything. I think you're going to if four of your friends are doing well and you're the fifth one, most likely you're going to do well as well. It's everything to me. It's your community. And it helped me literally, it changed the trajectory of my life, being surrounded by those guys. And it was amazing. You know, it was the best thing that happened for me at that time.
What took you from an average player to a good player? It sounds like just well, you tell me.
Number one was having a vision, because I always had this vision in my head, like I can do this, but also it was countless reps every single day. There wasn't a day. It wasn't like, oh, I don't feel like doing this today. It was like I had to do this. And then once my friends kept encouraging me and doing it, it just became a lifestyle. Like it just became like, this is what I do now. And then coming up through the ranks, I had other people that were my age that were way better than me. So I was like chasing. So they would move the goalpost and I would just keep trying to like chase. And then I started like getting closer. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. We figuring something out. So I knew it was the hard work. I knew it was the discipline and the fundamentals of basketball and practicing.
Cool. So where'd you go? So then college came. What happened next?
Yep. So I took the unconditional route. I went from high school to junior college, but I went way up in Michigan to a small community college called Kirkland. I don't even know if it still exists, but like 4 hours away, and did well as a freshman. Made the all freshman team, first team. I made the All-Star game. And then I transferred there and went to Schoolcraft in Livonia and did well there, became an All-American, broke the 3-point record, was the player of the region. Like, just like now my trajectory is going high and it's going fast, but still super humble, still working really hard. And then from there, I went to Bowling Green State. So now 3 years, in 4 years, I went to 3 colleges, graduated in 4 years, but then I just started like my junior year, led second in the MAC in scoring. My senior year, I led the MAC in scoring and went to NBA camp and all these amazing things. And it was just like, wow, 4 years ago, you couldn't tell me this was happening.
Right.
Went to the Piston mini camp, but it was happening so fast that if I can replay my life over, I needed a mentor because it was happening too fast. Somebody who been there before and like to calm me down and to keep me humble.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
going to so many schools. It's kind of hard to find like that one coach or that one mentor. It's not like a senior that was kind of like, you know, you could like, oh, he's doing it right, and I want to like act like that. It was like you're hopping all over the place. So then you get a buddy here, a coach here, and you're moving to the next one. And so you probably saw a lot of different coaching styles and a lot of different people, but like never really got deep, right?
Yeah, but I was blessed to have some really good coaches. My first coach, he passed away, Coach Donahue, but he was like the all-time winningest coach in Michigan.
Wow.
And he was very, very disciplined. Every Friday we used to have 5 a.m. practices, and you couldn't, in the gym, I don't know if you ever worked out at 5, it's freezing. Yeah. And we're up north, so it's already snowing in October. And you couldn't wear anything under. You just wore your shorts, your socks, shoes, and your jersey.
Okay.
So but he was teaching us discipline. And it was some really good times. And then my second coach was Coach Briggs. He had played overseas. He had played NBA. He's well respected in Detroit and Michigan, and like was just amazing. He opened my mind. He opened my game, and he put me in situations to literally challenge me every single day. And then the talent was so good around me that it was like an iron sharpened the iron. Sure. Like there were like when I came into Schoolcraft, I was probably 8th or 9th best. But by the end of the season, I was probably top 5. Like it just started literally just like going in my favor. But it was all because of that vision and that discipline. Like every day I was like, all right, I'm gonna be ready today.
Yeah. You seem like a guy that's not necessarily motivated by like, I want to beat this guy, but like this environment and like the dream, like you mentioned, like a dreamer. You're like, I dream of like getting to this point, and so like I'm dreaming of becoming this person, rather like I want to be that guy. Like, would you relate to that or?
Yeah. I think it comes from seeing my mom struggle. She's a very, very super, super hard worker. And it was like, I want to change the conditions for her. Um, and like, I never seen her quit.
Right.
Even when the cards were stacked against us, and I was just like, okay, that's instilled in me because, I mean, she's just so tough, and but she's loving, she's friendly, she helps everybody. So I had personal goals, but it wasn't necessary, like you said, the next person. It was just like, let's see where we can take this. Let's see if we can change our environment. And I still strive for that to this day.
The one thing that I've learned about being a leader, coaching real estate agents, mentoring people, seeing people, is a lot of people want certain things. And I think there's two types of things. There's motivation and inspiration. I've talked about this a lot. And you can inspire somebody. Like, we could watch a YouTube video, I can get you hype on something, I can inspire you, right? But that deep-seated motivation needs to come from your personal experiences, and that's all over the place. Like, I just think about mine and what I want to do and support my family, my community, my why. My goal is to create leaders who create leaders. I think about Nimish, my business partner, and like what he does for his family, how he supports his family, and like how that's like such a motivating thing. It comes internally, right? And I feel like you have a lot of that too, and that's what's taken you through basketball and now into real estate and continue through that success. Is like that motivation comes from within, and you need to be a dreamer. Like, I have this motivation to change this thing, and I'm dreaming to be there. So it's like a push and pull mentality, I think, where you're being like pushed away from something and towards something at the same, and pulled towards something at the same time. So okay, so you're in college, and then what happens next? This is the part I'm like so excited. I want people to hear this story because I think it's so cool, and then how that's overlapping into your business. That's the point of the
So after college, I get invited to all these NBA camps and have a shot to make it. But when you get to that level, the margin is slim to none. Everybody can play, everybody can shoot, everybody can jump. And I was immature mentally at the time. So I didn't make it to the NBA because of my immature level. Like, I just wasn't there. I liked it, everything. I started to fall in love with everything that came with basketball and not doing the stuff that made me good at basketball. So I was being pulled in different directions to where I didn't reach the level I wanted to reach. So I wind up getting drafted in the NBA Developmental League. And I got drafted to a team called the Idaho Stampede in Boise. And it was the first time I ever went out to a place that was like that. It was nothing to do. And literally after the third day, I went to the coach. It was a guy named Brian Gates, who's an NBA coach. And I told him, just release me. And it was getting close to Thanksgiving.
like, I'm bored.
Yeah, well, I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I didn't even want to do it. So he released me. I went home for Thanksgiving. Then I went overseas, literally the week later. And the first stop I ever played in was in a small country called Finland. Did well there, but I wound up breaking my foot after like 13 games.
Oh,
so I came home, had surgery, got back healthy for the next season, broke my foot again, had another surgery. So that pushed me from my rookie season, so I missed the following season. And then after that, I finally got healthy. And I just kept telling myself, I was 24 at the time. I was like, I know I got so much to offer. I know I can still play at a high level, but who's going to take a risk on somebody who's missed a year and a half? And I started measuring myself again. So we would play private runs in the summer, and there would be NBA guys there, overseas guys, high school, college. Like, if you were the best of the best, we were playing together. And I started measuring myself. And what I started doing, I would send out 100 emails a day, literally, to these guys' agents. I would literally Google, hey, Matt works with CAA. Let me see if I can find his agent online. And I started Googling these people. And what happened was some of these agents started reaching back out to me like, yeah, I wonder what happened to you. I've been following your career, and I got a chance to play in Germany. This agent was like, hey, I got 2 opportunities for you. I was like, I'll take it. Wind up going to Germany. Got with some guys, we were all the same age. We're all 24 and 25, and we were all hungry. And that team catapulted me for the rest of my career because everybody on that team was either the MVP throughout their career, they were the MVP of the countries they played in later, or the scoring leader or first team. Like, it was just amazing. But we were all really good. And we wound up finishing like 4th place. I was top 5 in scoring. Then my following year, I led Germany in scoring, and it just kept going. But then I get this is going in 2012, I get a contract, a 2-year deal in Turkey, and I wind up leading my team to the Turkish Cup championship, and I tore my Achilles.
Oh, man.
Literally.
Man.
So
it's nuts.
that happens. I come back in 9 months, come back to Turkey, and I wind up doing 2 more years in Turkey. So, but it was just literally not quitting and having a vision. And I think outside of sports, a lot of people fail because they they quit on themselves. They quit dreaming, they quit having this vision, and then they succumb to their pressures and environments, and then they start taking on somebody else's dream. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sure. But I feel like a lot of times you have to take care of yourself first.
Yeah. So the oxygen mask story, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a plane that's going down, you got to put your oxygen mask on first before you can put someone else's on, right? I think it's an important thought process.
So that was the prime of my career. I tore my Achilles 2 weeks after turning 27. Literally built myself back up again. It's kind of like the story of my life. And from there, played 2 more years in Turkey. After Turkey, I go to Israel. Played a year there. After Israel, I was, I think, 30. Turning 30. I kind of like starts like getting homesick. I'm getting a little older. I'm going for 10 months out the year. I only get 2 months home. Every time I come home, things are changing. I'm playing catch up. About to have a baby. So I started doing, I call it the Latin American tour. So from Israel, I go to Venezuela, played there for a year. And that was right before, like that was right in the midst of it's really turning bad.
Wow.
So you couldn't leave your resort, but it was a great feeling. Like the Venezuelan people treated me very, very well. Played there. And then from there, that opened up the doors to literally the whole Latin America because I did well there. And then I played in Mexico for 4 years, and then I retired.
Wow. I didn't even get all that. That's nuts. You traveled the whole world because of this.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
so cool.
And I had stops in other countries, a month here, 3 months here. But I don't, really count those. But I did, like I've played in Lebanon. I played in the Dominican Republic. I think that was it. But it did let me experience a lot of different cultures, see a lot of different things that if you asked me as a kid that I would be able to see the world, it was like impossible. I remember when I was in Germany, I was 24, 25, single. I would literally go to Paris for the weekend, take a 3-hour train. I would go to Strasbourg, France. I would go to Stuttgart. I just would travel, and it opened my eyes. I remember this one story. I was coming back from Paris, and I was so frustrated because I didn't speak French. And I'm just in my head, I got a book with me, and I finally found somebody that spoke English on the train, and I was so freaking happy. I talked the whole train ride. But it was a great experience. I wouldn't change nothing. I don't regret anything, but it helped me later on in life. And how I got into real estate is a funny story. It's an interesting story. So me and my kid's mother had a young realtor. He was 24 years old. He was a classmate of my ex-stepdaughter, and he sold his parents' house and he sold our house, and he was 24 years old, and he moved to Atlanta with his family. So we were in the process. We don't have a house right now, so we wound up finding a new construction or whatever, but I always been good with numbers. I was 32 at the time. This guy made 15 grand. I'm like, I got to figure this out. So I literally went on Groupon. I'll give you the step-by-step play. Went on Groupon, found the real estate class, took the 40 hours the very next week, knocked it out. And out of that class, there's 2 agents that are still in the profession because I got my license in 18, but I failed my first 2 test. Like I had no real estate background, didn't know anything about it. Took it with Real Estate One in Troy. And I wind up, we finished the class on Friday. That Monday, I took the test. And I got if you need 80, I think you need 80 at the time. I don't know if it's still the same. I got 67. So I was like, dang, I'm close. But my teacher kept telling me, even when we were doing a practice exam, she's like, you know your stuff. You keep second guessing yourself. So I signed up for Wednesday. Took it Wednesday. I got a 72 the first time. I took it Wednesday, got a 69. I'm like, I'm regressing. I'm freaking out. So I'm giving you how to play by play right now. I literally went and found this guy named Prep Agent, bought his 30-day course, and I just start overloading, cramming, taking the practice exam, taking the practice exam. Took the test Saturday and passed. And I went from like the emotions Monday and Wednesday is if it was snowing, because I took it in the fall, I would have probably drove my car through a snowbank. Like I was that frustrated at myself. But then Saturday it was like king of the world. And I just never looked back from there. But I was still playing then. So at 18, I played 2 more years. And what I did was I interned. I call it my internship, but I signed up with KW at the time. And I just went to KW every day in Farmington Hills at KW Home. And I was just learning. They had a really good team leader there. Her name was Carrie Stillwater. And she just took her time. She was real gentle with me. She didn't make me feel that I was less than. And every day she would just help me and help me and help me. So I still haven't sold a house. I was trying to get in the field, but I wasn't confident enough. So from there, I played another season and I was reached by Julie and Lee. And I met Lee and I signed with EXP. Still ain't sold a house. And then in October, I retired. I was done. I was 34. And I went and signed with EXP with Lee and Julie. And from there, I was like, there's no plan B.
You're committed.
Yeah, I'm fully locked in. Yeah. Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
So from October of 2019, it took me 2 months, and I sold my first house December 31st of 2019. Still not knowing what I'm doing.
Made a check in 19, though.
Made a check in 19. Literally last day of the year, had our closing, and then we went into 2020, and that's when all chaos just...
Yeah, it's a crazy timing with the market.
But it was a blessing for me because I was so new and so green. I would just talk every day. I would go live. And then I had my son February 10th of 2020. COVID happens 2 weeks later and we're all on shutdown.
Right.
So I would just go live. I would just talk about real estate. I put door magnets on my car. I was just so hungry and thirsty just to be seen and to work with people. I was chasing every single lead. If anybody, if they talked about a doghouse, I was chasing it. So I wind up first year selling 29 houses, but how it happened was I started having this vision again. I was like, I got to switch people's mind to don't look at me as an athlete anymore. Look at me as a real estate agent, a businessman. And that's, to me, was the biggest compliment I got that year was a lady came up to me like, you're the guy that sell houses. I'm like, yeah.
I'm not a basketball player anymore. I made it.
Yeah, yeah, that's me. Yeah. So it just kind of just took off and I caught fire and I was like thankful. Like, I never thought that I can do this because I was in a profession where I got paid per performance and it was just amazing to see like, oh, okay, I can do something outside of basketball because there was times where I didn't know what I was going to do. Like I bought all this DJ equipment. My father used to be a DJ in the 80s and I felt like I was too old to be in the clubs and stuff. And I don't want to, no offense, but that just wasn't my lifestyle at the time. I had smaller kids and I feel like I missed that boat. I still love music, but that wasn't it. So when this came, I was like all in.
Do you feel that a lot of athletes, professional athletes, they've been on, that journey is pretty wild. You took me through a really wild journey from, hey, I wasn't even that into basketball. I played in high school. I played in college, all these different places. You played for 60 teams or something. I don't know, maybe 40 at least throughout your career. That's a lot of different teams, a lot of different experiences. Do you think it's hard for athletes to transition from that made it to a professional level to transition to something else? Like, obviously it sounds difficult to you, but do you think a lot of people are stuck in that? It seems like something that would be really, really difficult for
Absolutely. And I think because you've been admired and enamored your whole life that you don't have a plan.
Right.
And that's why they show, the studies show athletes go broke in the first 2 to 5 years after retiring, is because you accumulate this lifestyle and then the money that you're getting is no longer coming in and they don't have a plan. I wanted to retire at 32. I retired at 34, but my friends kept saying, you're still playing good. Even though my body, I felt were breaking down, I was still could play at a high level, but I can feel the end was near.
Yeah.
So I started preparing myself.
A lot of injuries, a lot of comebacks. I bet you're hurting, man. That sounds wild. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I started preparing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of athletes don't prepare for what's next. They think they're always going to be a professional athlete. And if you look at a professional athlete, they have the shortest span of any career.
Right.
So it's just not being prepared. So I think a lot of athletes need someone to consult them. That's why I think mentors are very huge leaders, because you can help them. You can't save everybody, but you can help them prepare for the next level. And that's, the financial advisors, your agencies, finding out what you really like, finding out who you are. Because a lot of us don't know who we really are. So I think doing a deep dive, doing the work inside will help you, because there's a lot of great traits that athletes possess.
Sure.
But if it's not channeled and harnessed in the right way, you're just going to be lost, because now you got all this time. You've been living structured your whole life. For 34 years, I was on a schedule and it was to the T. Now a lot of us start eating bad. We start just indulging in stuff that we never did because now it's here. Mm-hmm. And then you're not moving as like you once were. So yeah, it's hard.
I think another takeaway to this is not just athletes. This conversation has obviously been which is awesome. I appreciate you sharing, because at first you're like, I don't really talk about basketball in the real estate world. And so kind of now that we went full circle, it makes sense, right? You want to be considered as a business person and as a real estate person and not necessarily as an athlete. But I think everyone has a story, and I think that tie-in matters, because you just mentioned there's a lot of traits that you learned along the way that you take with you that gives you success for your clients. And I think that they sort of like deserve to know that in my perspective. But also not just athletes. So making the transition from whatever people work in, whatever their life, wherever their life is at, whatever their career is at, to 100% commission sales, okay? Not just real estate, mortgages. I mean, anything is 100% commission sales, right? There's this humongous leap of faith. And I think that it takes that preparation. So I really like your story, because what you did was you were at KW, you learned a lot, you had a couple mentors that took a lot of time with you, which is awesome, and you prepared, you understood, you worked on your craft, you had a plan, and then by the time you made that jump, you're able to sell 29 homes your first year because you're prepared and ready. And I think a lot of people, they think they're gonna get into real estate and overnight have this success, and they have no nest egg built up, they have no real plan, they just get the real estate license and think it's like selling sunset all of a sudden. It's not that simple, right? There's a lot more to it, and it's a very serious job. So that transition, I think, is hard for a lot of people. So I see how it worked out for you, and I could see how that is a completely different lifestyle. So since you crushed it your first year, how's your career been so far? What have you learned along the way? How's that looked from a real estate perspective?
I've learned a lot, especially in today's market. Especially in today's market, I feel like the norm has shifted. I feel like now you have to do video. You have to do you have to do it's just shifted from when I came in. There was only a few guys doing video at the time, so that's number one. Number two, I would say you have to do open houses. Like the things that made people stand apart 5 years ago are the norm now. I feel like all deals are not the same. I think that's why we cherish our good clients. I feel like it's a 24/7 job, so you have to find that balance. I enjoy it. I love it. But when I came in, everything was selling because we were so locked down. The the pent up demand were there. Everybody was either renovating their houses. They found out that their spouse was getting on the nerves, so they need more space. And it was just an amazing time. So today's market, it's super competitive because you had so many people come into the market to become agents or sell mortgages and do refi. Like there was a huge boom. But I feel like now the real agents, I'm not going to say real, the agents who really love this and want to build a career out of it and not just trying to be some overnight sensation is showing who can really sell and who can really help people and who really is here to make a difference.
I think that's huge. I think I love those transitions. I like when it gets hard. I don't know if you followed Jocko. He wrote Extreme Ownership and stuff like that. He's kind of like this intense, like ex-Marine guys. But when things go bad, like his saying is like, good. So it's like, hey, we ended up like behind enemy lines, like good, and now he does in the business world where he takes over to his business coaching and stuff like that. So I kind of see challenges as opportunities. And I actually believe that the whole real estate industry exists because it's a very challenging thing to buy and sell real estate. Okay. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. There's really 5 main parties with a lot of real estate transactions, 2 different real estate brokers, 2 different title companies, a lender. And that doesn't even include your inspectors, your appraisals. Also, there's just so many different moving pieces to put these deals together to get them to closing. And so when things get difficult, I like when a lot of the part-timers and the people that aren't that good fall off. No offense if that's you. I wish you the best. But I think that we should have skilled professionals in this business. And I think that we should develop brokerages, and there should be a standard of which calling yourself a real estate agent matters in our society. We are not a commodity. No matter how much people try to push it and big tech companies try to make it that way, we are not commodities. There's so much, like those first 29 deals, the amount you learned in that year, like out of all the things you told me, I can't relate to basketball as much. I know basketball is very, very hard, and playing at a high level takes a lot of work. But I also know 29 closings, your first real and full year in real estate, to me is a ton of work and so much to pick up along the way, because again, you have 20 people in each transaction you got to take all the way through. So I love that when you rode the wave through 2020 and now you recognize that it's a different market. So you mentioned some things. So you mentioned video is important. Some of the things that you stuck out in the past, are just kind of the standard quo or the status quo today. So you recently interviewed a few different companies. We don't need to deep dive into all the old brokerages you're at and stuff like that, but you decided to make a change, and you kind of had some ups and downs the last couple of years as well too, just with car accidents and some other stuff. Yep. It's got some more crazy stories. We can keep these crazy stories going for forever. Right. We're gonna change pace to real estate a little bit. What made you decide to move brokerages, and what made you decide to pick Redefine?
Yeah. So I started off always being a solo agent, and got to the point where I was like, I'm tired of doing everything myself, and I want to align with someone, company that has similar beliefs and that were actually boots on the ground and doing things in the community, and not just looking to sell me on what they can do for me. And I felt like the first conversation we had, there was synergy there. And I'm like, oh, this guy gets it. And literally, I'm like, if he offers me, I'm signing. I was working out at the time when we were on the phone, and I was just like, wow. And I had seen some of your videos over the years, and the name just made sense, Redefine. And I'm like, wow, I'm in the process of reshaping my life, recreating, reinventing. I just turned 40. So I'm like literally playing everything back in my life. Like, what is my next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years going to look like? And where do I want to be? And when we sat down, I was like, wow, he has the systems in place. He's also honest, transparent, and have a great name in the community. And I think that's huge for me. I always pray about how can I be around people that is successful, and how can I change my 5 circle of friends? And I was like, I got to figure this out, and I got to find people that are doing better than me. I can't be the smartest guy or the most successful guy in the room. It's not going to work from where I want to go. Like, I have big dreams, and I want to help people that want to be helped. And I was like, I can't do it alone. So that's what literally brought me in here. And since I've been here, it's like every day I'm blown away. Like with you and Nemish and on the back end having Stephanie and Noah, like, wow, like they literally built a company out, built a community out, built a team out. And there's no gatekeeping here. Like I never felt inferior to anyone. You never made me feel less than or and I know there's a learning curve and I'm, trying to pick it up as fast as I can. But it's just been literally welcoming, even from some of the experienced agents to the newer agents. And I'm just thankful for the opportunity. And I want to see where we can take it, because I see it like literally. I always talk about the trajectory. I see it going up, and and I'm amazed about all the stuff you have done in 8-9 years.
Yeah, I appreciate that. One of the things that I'm most excited about, the thing that really fires me up is we've been working together for a while now, and when you're first doing onboarding, you stop me a few times and you're like, wow, you're like, there's so much to this that I didn't think about. There's so much technology. There's so many different ways. Like we took your database, we reorganized it, we plugged it into our CRM. We have all these tools working on the back end for you. And you're kind of like, this is awesome. And what I'm the most excited about is people like you that come on board that have had this amount of success, kind of winging it. Yes, you've had some direction, you've learned real estate, but as far as cultivating a business, having a team to back you up, having systems and processes, having the technology there to be able to take where you're at and take it to the next level. One thing you mentioned is like, I want to be a household name. And I'm like, okay, when I hear that, like my mission is now to make Marco a household name. So if you guys are watching this, Marco will be a household name. I promise that. And how do you do that? You scale what's already worked using systems, processes, and teamwork to be able to take it to the next level. Real estate agents wear too many hats, right? You can't do your video work, post on Facebook, do all your paperwork, negotiate, do your open houses, do showings, prospect for clients, call for sale by owners. You can't do it all. And like agents think that they can do that. And they're like, well, why would I do I can do my own paperwork. It only takes me a minute. I'm like, okay, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes here, all throughout the week. You just wasted 3 hours. If you spend 3 hours prospecting, you're gonna get 2 more clients. So your return on that investment could be $20,000 for that week if you know the systems and processes in place. And so I'm super excited with where you're going, because I think that you're the perfect avatar to continue to take it to the next level. And I think that we have a lot of overlap. So you mentioned in this story that we've gone through today, these ups and downs, right? These peaks and valleys, as you call it. And I think that's such a big takeaway for your life and for this podcast and for this material that we're putting out there, because I think it's so important. And like you mentioned, you need to pull yourself out. And some people just get stuck in that valley, right? They don't ever pull themselves out. We need to keep going through those peaks and valleys, make sure that there's a linear push to the front. So at Redefine, you've gone through your onboarding training, you're finding some success, we're really excited. What thing kind of stuck out the most? Like, was it the teamwork? Was it technology? What did you look at and you're like, wow, this is different?
Well, I think first it starts with the top. I think you're a great leader. On top of that, I'm dreaming again. I could see the vision. I could see it could be scalable. Example, as an agent, and when you're trying to grow a business, we are so attached to our clients and we don't want to let go. And I think this is the first time I've been letting go. And I'm like, oh, they get it. Like, oh, Stephanie and Noah already sent the documents out. They already got the inspection on my calendar. It's like, you got the system in place. So all I have to do is literally come, show up, make my calls, reach out to my clients, and generate more business. But the process is going to be seamless. And as a real estate agent, I feel like that's what you want. You want a seamless process. You want it to flow easy. And we know in real estate, it doesn't flow easy. But if you have your system in place, it can minimize the headaches. So number one is you got the things in place that agents, if they literally get out of their own way and want to learn and want to come better, be better and grow, you can grow here. You have the classes, you have the accountability, you have the systems, and then you have a culture here where I feel like it's fun. For me doing real estate, and every client is different that you have, I try to have fun. Like we're all going to be in a funeral home one day. Let's not act like we're there now. So I feel like it's a great place to grow. I mean, the name Redefine, you're redefining your life. You're redefining how we do real estate with the technology. And one thing that stuck out that you said is, I'm not teaching you how to sell houses like it's 1995. I'm teaching you how to sell houses like it's 2025. And it made sense. And it's like, all right, he gets it. So I don't see why you wouldn't want to be aligned with someone who's had ample amount of success and it's going to continue to succeed because of the beliefs, systems, and the people around.
Yeah. The only way that works is continue to find winners like yourselves and people that want to be part of our journey. I look at it, the same thing. I want to have fun, right? So why start a real estate brokerage in the first place? I could have made a lot more money having a small team just selling real estate, guys. But like you said, you want to come to work. It should be fun. You should look forward to it. You should have fun with your clients. Like that's what this industry should be about. It's very serious. Like, these real estate transactions matter, but if you're professional, you know your stuff, we can have a lot of fun while doing it and be involved with our communities and give back and try to make a difference. And to me, that's something worth having, something worth doing, and is different than just working for a big corporation. Again, nothing wrong with if you work for a big corporation, but I believe that the real estate industry is this independent contractor world, and it's a little bit like the Wild Wild West, and there's thousands and thousands of small businesses that are affected by the real estate industry. And one thing that we're seeing right now in the real estate industry is not why I fell in love with it. We're seeing these big companies buy each other. There's a new brokerage. They bought like 5 other new brokerages or experienced brokerages recently. I mean, they have 60% of the market share as far as real estate agents across the world. And it's like, are they purchasing these because it's in the client's best interest? Are they purchasing these other brokerages because it's in the agent's best interest? Where does innovation come in at that point, or is it just to grow numbers? Listen, I'm all about scaling, but I think you're going to see these huge tech conglomerates continue to purchase each other, and there's going to be more and more delusion. They think that real estate agents are a commodity, and I don't. The story that you just told, growing up in the area, traveling around the world, using that to sell real estate in your local marketplace is what makes you special and what makes clients deserve working with you. Like, it's not just like it doesn't mean you deserve the business. Like, they deserve to work with you. They deserve to work with somebody that's local, that's passionate, that's hardworking, that understands how to do this, right? And I think that our industry is kind of going in this direction. I hope that we continue to be that David versus Goliath mentality of let's do it right, let's be impactful, have the best stuff around, but also be crazy local. And I think that's really, really important. So I appreciate all that stuff because it's when I hear that, like, that's our goal, right? Yeah. And now that you're part of our culture and we continue to grow with that, you make the culture. It's not like, I appreciate the top-down mentality and stuff like that, but I really think the reason why we succeed is because we work in a team aspect. You mentioned Noah, you mentioned Stephanie, you mentioned Nemish, the other agents. Like, that's the culture that we have. I just try to package it as good as possible and continue to generate leads for y'all, and then have you guys do your thing. And if we can do that, we're going to be in good shape. So what are you most excited about for the future? Like, what are you most excited about as we roll into, we're almost to a new year in Q4 here. So.
Yep. I think just continue to grow, continue to show up every day and take care, not only myself, but take care of my clients. And I think if you come with the mentality of how can I help and how can I lead, I feel like you put yourself in a good position to be successful. But it's showing up every day for yourself and then taking care of others. And I think being in a positive environment, where you see other people having success. And I feel like it can carry something big. So I'm excited. In Michigan, it does get tricky once the snow hits here. From November to about February, it gets a little tough and a little slow. So I'm excited now to be here because I feel like when the snow hits, I'll be in a better position than I've normally been in my solo years. Because, yeah, it might be slow for others, but I feel like here, the agents are really good and dynamic. They're not going to slow down. Exactly. And I get to see that every day.
Yeah, I think that's a huge takeaway. I'm glad you brought that up. So I think in Michigan we have this seasonal, right? It's obviously heavier in the summer, lighter in the winter, and stuff like that. And I think there's two ways to look at that. One is you should scratch and claw and crawl your way to every single deal throughout the slower season, right? I think that's an important piece to make sure you have a consistent career. But what I love about it is like I actually like the slow season because it's like the off season, and I look at it like if I'm a professional sports team, right? If I'm the Detroit Lions and I got an off season, I'm recruiting, I'm trying to build this, I'm building out this new thing, I'm working on this new process, and that way by the time March, April hits, like the work's already done. And that's a lot of people don't get it. They see these like big numbers. All these, my buddy Nick just posted a crazy month. He sold 11 million. He's not at our brokerage. I wish he was, but he sold 11 million by himself last month. I'm like, that's nuts.
Wow.
That's really playing at a high level. But Nick didn't do that this year. He did it last year and the year before and built that up to that point and it snowballs. So that off season I think is critical. If you're in real estate, if you're in 100% commission sales and you have the seasonal time, look at it as that. It's not like, oh, this is the time to go on vacation and relax. It's like, what is our goals? How are we building towards that? And to me, that's like the most creative time for me. It's like, what can we build? What we need to work on? And how do we get that set up by the time our busy season comes around where we can just operate, right? While kind of scratching or clawing our way through deals along the way. So I think that's a huge takeaway as we look towards the future. And I'm really excited for you, man. You will be a household name. I think that you will get to a point where, 29 deals in a year will be nothing. We're going to blow that out of the water. We're going to continue to grow with that. And I think that your heart's in the right place, your work ethic is in the right place, and you have the mindset and the skill to continue to grow in this career and take it as far as you want. So I think the sky's the limit for you, and I'm excited that you're here and have the opportunity to hopefully be there for the crazy ride that we're on in the real estate world here. Yeah. And thank you so much for doing this today. We appreciate you being open and honest and telling your story. I think it's a really cool story. So again, guys, the work ethic that he took to become a professional athlete is now in the real estate world. So all the clients out there, think about that. If you're thinking about hiring a guy, Marco could be your guy because he's very, very well versed on this stuff and he has the work ethic to back it up. So thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. What do you think, Mikey? How long was that? How long did you think it was? This is always my question for people.
About 45 minutes.
The first part, it's going to be 40 minutes.
Cool.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
I think there'll be a lot of cool stuff. You have some clips in there.
Yeah.
Talk about the real estate stuff. We'll have some cool stuff. What'd you think? Did you have fun? Have you done these before?
No.
Okay.
No, super sweet.
Did you like it? Maybe maybe we'll do something else like it. You know?
We should do a sports one on the Lions.
See what I'm saying? Like I feel like you're into video, right? And so this is what I was getting at when you talked about the video pillar.
Yeah.
So we can honestly probably just like keep recording. Mikey, do me a favor. Take a picture. Did you?
For a thumbnail?
Yeah, maybe for like a story. And just send it to me. Like behind the scenes of the cameras and stuff. But so the video stuff, and I don't know if you can keep recording if you didn't hit stop because maybe this would be good content too. But like I think that it's a combination of tons of real estate stuff, the walkthroughs like we talked about, and then also just fun stuff. So people kind of like following you, right? Yeah. Because like they want to see you doing real estate, and some people follow just for real estate stuff, but like that could get kind of played out. So some people might start following you because the sports stuff, and you talk about like we talked about basketball, or maybe we're talking about the Lions, we're talking about different stuff that you can relate to that people would be interested in following on top of the real estate stuff. Yeah. And I think like to me, I have this like dream world, where every real estate agent builds a real estate business based on their personal likes. So like Tyler's into running, his running group. So he just crushes it in running, and like he sells a bunch of real estate because he's good at that. But like majority of his life is running, which is what he's into, right? You could be like basketball and sports. I think other people could be something completely different. Like you could be really into jam bands, and you do a lot of jam bands, and you like network in the jam band community, and you work with a lot of like-minded people. And I think that's what's such a beautiful thing about real estate is you can attract your tribe, not just in the industry, but for clients. Like you can work with clients, like you're gonna be more likely to attract people that are in alignment with your beliefs and stuff. So, but speaking of the Lions, what do you think? What do you think is gonna happen? We had a rough first game, good couple games since. I was at Cleveland. What's gonna happen? Are they gonna finish here strong?
Oh yeah, I feel like they're gelling now. The offensive line is playing good. I think that was a tough game to go in Green Bay and not have some of our, what was it, Frank Ragnow? Retired in preseason. I feel like they're trending in the right direction. We play Cincinnati this week. They don't have Joe Burrow. I feel like they scored what 3 points or something last week. I feel like we're in the right direction. But after this Cincinnati game, the schedule does get tough. We'll know by Thanksgiving when we play Green Bay where we're if we are contenders.
I'm so excited for that game.
Or
like they
pretenders.
better blow them out. Like,
But I think
at this
one
point.
thing is we've been dying literally for a good football team, and we finally have one. And the city has embraced it. I feel like the morale is up, and we have people on the team that embrace what Detroit is.
Yes.
It's a blue collar city. We put our boots on every day and we go to work, and we grind it out, and we have a coach, Dan Campbell. He's embraced that from day one. Was by kneecaps. St. Brown, another underdog, has a chip on his shoulder, and I think that's what Detroit is, and that's why Detroit is starting to. And when I say Detroit, I'm speaking of the whole Metro Detroit. We're resurgent again. We are like, yeah, y'all counted us out, but look at us now. And I think that's we are literally grit and grind.
I love the underdog story. It's like my favorite part of this whole thing. My wife thinks I'm nuts because I watch the whole game and then I watch like every press conference, and I just like love watching Dan Campbell because I think the culture is what starts it, right? That mentality, that grit mentality. And like, I just think about like, okay, I want to learn how he did this because he took one of the worst sports franchises ever, and like now they're very much going in the right direction. It's like, what's different? How do we incorporate that at Redefine? How do we take that culture and make sure that we live it? How is grit part of our mentality? How, when Marco pulls up a new agent, like, hey man, you just started here, I haven't seen you in a few days, where are you at? I've been here in the morning. Like, that's the kind of mentality that I think we need to incorporate, which is easier said than done, because everyone wants these things and talks a big game. Angeloni had like he broke his arm last year.
Yeah.
And I remember like his Instagram post before the playoff game was like, everyone wants to be a dog until it means doing dog shit, because he wasn't healed yet.
Yeah.
And he shows his stitches all on his arm and he's going to play a professional football game. Like, that's nuts, right? And so the sports analogies are always easy, but I think, how do you incorporate that into business, and how do you have that mentality, and again, have that same passion? Like, as a kid, we're like picking right back up, Mikey, I'm sorry, but as a kid, it's like you got into sports, you got into the basketball thing, and like, it's fun to play basketball, right? And I think you need to find that fun in real estate. Or whatever you do. But if you don't look at your business as like a game and something fun and something you can build within, I don't care if you're at a big company, I don't care if you're an entrepreneur, I don't care if you're an independent salesperson, I don't care. But if you don't look at it as like a game, like, this is a fun thing, I want to be the best at this craft, I want to get better at it, you should pick a different career. And so like, if that's real estate, and I don't care if you sell 100 houses a year, if you don't like it and you don't look at it as a game of like helping people and being better and being the best at what you do, you should go do something else. And people should have the privilege in their life to hopefully do something that they like to do and enjoy doing and continue to grow. So I think the Lions are, I'm excited, man. I'm super stoked at where they're going to go. And, we'll see. I think that culture's where it's at, though.
Yeah. And it's a team of people around Dan Campbell, too, to have experience. And one like Brad Holmes is an amazing GM. He has a talent. He has a gift with identifying talent that you wouldn't normally see. And he finds these gems.
You can tell he's so passionate. You see that video of him on the elevator after the win, and he's so hyped up, and you could just tell it's like pouring out of him. I'm a big golfer, and what the Ryder Cup was on recently, and like the U.S. didn't do so hot, but there was a couple moments where actually Europe, like Rory McIlroy is really just getting completely like shit on the entire time, right? And there was a couple times where like they made good putts and they just were getting hazed, and that emotion came out. Like, we worked so hard, like we deserve this. And I wish, like, I bottle that up in myself, and I wish I could have that all times. I have a good amount of it, and I wish people, like, one thing that I pray about is more people have that. Because when you have that passion, you have that fire about what you want to do and why you're doing what you're doing, it's such a fun life. But when you're like, oh, I don't want to go to work, I don't want to make this call, I don't want to talk to this client, I don't feel like it, this guy's a jerk, it's just like not fun. And it's like, people deserve to have a fun life, and we live in a capitalistic society, so we have to go to work, we have to do these things, right? So you should deserve to figure out a way to manipulate your brain to have fun in the things that you want to do from a financial perspective.
I'm glad you said that. So how I used to look at real estate and how I structured my days, where prospecting was my practice. Going on showings was my interaction with the fans. Even though that's your clients, I'm not calling them fans. Would it just be my interaction with, now I get to show my work and what I've been working on and my skill set. And then I looked at closing as game days. Like, you get to celebrate and it's a win. I always look at a closing as a win. So I think that helped me early on, keeping that structure and just identifying like, hey, just switch your physical practice to your practice with prospecting. And that helped. A lot of things too is a lot of agents don't make it past 5 years.
Right.
And the reason why is because they don't treat it as a business to scale. And that's what I was seeing with me. I felt like I was starting to plateau. I wasn't taking care of my fundamentals. And I was like, all right, I need to be around some people who's doing it, who can give me a little push to get back to who I am. And I feel like it's slowly, I ain't gonna say slowly, I feel like it's starting to come full circle. And I feel like when you're in a good spot. You can feel it. You can it might not be all there, but you can feel like it's coming. I feel like it's like the perfect storm. Like, I'm just now starting to build up momentum again. And I feel like it's gonna really take off.
26 is going to be wild. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I'm like, I feel like all the pieces are in place. We got some killers on the team, where we're at, systems in place. Like, I feel ready. Like, I feel like all the pieces are in place, and we're finding some success, and we're growing. We're doing the right things. But I also feel like we've done this, and like the last 3 years have been arguably, we went from like the easiest 3 years in real estate to the hardest 3 years in real estate, arguably in 30 years. Okay. Like, less homes were sold 23, 24, 25 than in a very, very long time. And so we're still succeeding in that market. So I'm like, when the tables turn and when that wave comes, we're going to be really there. So I love that that's your mentality. I love what you said. Like, the practice is the prospecting, right? Game day is just closing. That's just the fun part. And people think like the closing table or like showings, like you're 100% right. The business is built in the prospecting culture and making sure we have the opportunity to serve these clients. If you believe that you're good at your craft, if you believe that you know what you're doing when it comes to selling real estate and helping buyers and sellers in today's marketplace, you have an obligation for them to understand that. And the only way they understand that, they're busy. They have busy lives. They have a million different things going on. The only way that they understand that is if you prove that to them, and you have to do that through different prospecting activities, marketing, sales, prospecting activities. That's just the fact of the matter. But if you believe that you can serve them better than anyone else in the marketplace, you have an obligation to do so, and that's your practice. And that's so cool that you have that mentality. I'm gonna coach you on that one and be like, okay, we're getting the practice done. Like, closing's game day. We got some games coming up. Like, we're gonna keep that same mentality.
And I think too, one of the worst feelings for me with real estate is when I call someone and they said, we already bought a house, and it was a lead that I didn't follow up with.
Right.
And that hurts me to the core. It's like, wow, I let that slip through the cracks. And I think what's different here is I have the systems to not let that slip through the cracks. I have the tasks. I have, the ABCs, and I can literally physically go into the CRM system and see it.
Right.
Back then, I was just writing it down on my iPad or a piece of paper, like, these the buyers I'm working with. But as life goes on, you forget, and weeks go by, months. You're like, oh shoot, I didn't follow up
Exactly
with ABC. So I feel like that's a huge advantage, being able to see who I'm working with, see potential clients, and to be able, like, I feel like my professional, I always felt I was a professional, but I feel like my professionalism just went to a whole nother level. Just even with like sending out some simple as Google invites into where my clients know, hey, this is our schedule, boom, 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 boom. So that's a huge advantage. And also I want to touch on, you were talking about BAM, and I follow BAM as well. And what BAM has showing, like, the agents that are niching down and showing what's going on in the communities and what new restaurant, because it's trendy right now, is the agents that are winning. Like, you literally, if you're a real estate agent and you don't know what's going on your community, how can you say you're a real estate agent?
Exactly.
Like, you don't know what's coming up. You don't know. So you're not even touching the people who's making a difference in the communities. So I feel like the agents now that are going to have a lot of success outside of their knowledge is going to be the ones who literally focus on what's going on in their community.
Right. Yeah, I think that's right, man. I think that's 100% right. And like having that mentality for it is what I'm most excited about, and continue to do our volunteer events and continue to do like we have literally a weightlifting contest. There's like 400 people I think coming to the office this Saturday. We are hosting them. Just we volunteered the space for a weightlifting contest. We just did glow yoga. We have pumpkin palooza coming up. We do stuff in our local marketplace. I want to expand with that. I try to be involved with the communities that we're in. It was really cool yesterday. A person from the American Cancer Society stopped in, or she's a volunteer over there, and like did a picture with the team.
Yeah.
We want to continue to make that part of our culture and who we are, the most trusted, giving, and innovative real estate team in Michigan, in that order. Trusted, first and foremost, giving, want to give back to our clients, our community, and then lastly is innovative, be the most innovative group around. And so thank you for coming on the journey with me again.